Hello guys, this is Sharon here from 24/7 Techie, and in this video we are going to compare the OnePlus X with the OnePlus 2. So OnePlus recently launched the OnePlus X, which is sort of the OnePlus 1 but with a better build and a 5-inch Full HD display, whereas the OnePlus 2 is the OnePlus flagship for this year, and it is a powerhouse for the price. But in this video we will be comparing of how much difference is it, and is it really worth to spend 8,000 extra rupees on the OnePlus 2 compared to the price of the OnePlus X. So first of all, we'll get rid of the connectivities of this phone. So both the phones are having dual SIM card slots, but the SIM card slot on the OnePlus X is a hybrid SIM card slot, single SIM card slot with a micro SD card slot, or a single or a dual SIM card slot. But I would prefer to take it as a single SIM card slot with a micro SD card slot, because the internal memory is limited to 16 gigs. With the OnePlus 2, it's a dual SIM card slot, and the second slot is not hybrid SIM, so it is a dual SIM card slot. In both the phones, the weight of the phones are very different. So the OnePlus X weighs around 140 grams, whereas the OnePlus 2 weighs around 175 grams. And that's quite a big difference, about 25 grams. And there's also a very big difference in the screen size and the screen quality. So the OnePlus 2 is having an 5.5-inch Full HD screen. It's an IPS grade screen, whereas the OnePlus X has an 5-inch Full HD screen, and it is an AMOLED screen. So there's a very big difference in the screen qualities that are being used, and I'll show you some photos in which we'll be comparing these two phones. So for comparing the display of both the phones, we'll be switching off the adaptive brightness and putting it on full brightness, both the phones. So we'll just put it on full brightness, and both the phones are on full brightness. The difference in the screen quality is also because both the phones are different in screen size. So 5.5-inch the PPI comes about 401, whereas the 5-inch Full HD comes about 441. So the pixel density is lower on the OnePlus 2, and it's an IPS grade screen, so this a little bit difference compared to the AMOLED screen. So as you can see, the saturation on the OnePlus X is a little more, but a true color and a little bit of natural color comes on the OnePlus 2 compared to the OnePlus X. On the OnePlus X with the AMOLED screen, it's a little bit oversaturated, not a lot. It looks really good on both the displays, and if you are using one of those, you won't be able to find the difference if you don't compare it like I am doing. And we'll try out with another pic. So as you can see in both the pics, it's very identical, and the screen quality on the OnePlus 2 is really good that they have used. Personally, I never had any issues with the screen of the OnePlus 2, but after comparing it with the OnePlus X, there's a little bit of difference, but not a lot. The color saturation is a little bit more on the OnePlus X compared to the OnePlus 2, but both screens are really good. Another pic to compare the color saturation and everything. So as you can see, the OnePlus X does looks a little better, but not a very big difference. So in these two also there's some difference. In this pic we can see a little bit of extra difference in the background. So the color is fading over here a little bit, but in this it's a little bit of true color. It's all because of the saturation, and the AMOLED screen is better on that compared to the IPS screen. So personally, if it comes to my choice for the display quality, I will be going with the AMOLED screen compared to the IPS screen. But all in all, the IPS screen used in the OnePlus 2 is really good, and no issues with that. So display of both the phones can be compared like this. So these are the default wallpapers that come inbuilt in this OnePlus phones, and you can see that the saturation on the OnePlus X is a little bit more compared to the OnePlus 2, and the grayish a little bit deep grayish compared to the a little bit of whitish grays on the OnePlus 2. I'll show you guys a couple of more pics, and as you can see, so all in all, a very good display on the OnePlus X, better than the other IPS grade displays, but the OnePlus 2 still has a good display. After the display of these phones, will be coming in the memory point of view, and the memory point of view of these phones are a little bit of confusing, because as the Marshmallow update coming to these phones very soon, there's no official date for these updates, but we expect it to come soon as it's on stock build. Marshmallow giving us an option of using the micro SD card as an internal storage, and as OnePlus X has a micro SD card slot, it can be used as an internal storage in the next update, and we can pop in a 128 gigs card and it's good to go. Whereas the OnePlus 2 is restricted to 64 gigs. It's a limitation for the OnePlus 2 as it's only till 64 gigs. I've never used entire 64 gigs. About 32 gigs are free on my mobile usually. It can be both, it can be a positive and a negative as well, but in my point of view there's not a lot of difference, but for heavy users who wish to have a lot of internal storage type of thing can go for the OnePlus X compared to the OnePlus 2. As the OnePlus X is not restricted to 64 gigs, it does support more space from micro SD card. And we'll go into the memory management of these phones. We are into the memory management of these phones, and I'm showing you guys the RAM of the phones. So we can see that the OnePlus X is having 1.9 gigs of RAM free, and OnePlus 2 having 1.6 gigs of RAM free. But the thing you need to know is that OnePlus 2 is having 4 gigs of RAM, whereas the OnePlus X is only having 3 gigs of RAM. But the OnePlus X just got an update like a couple of hours ago, so it did reboot. So that's why it's showing 1.9, and the memory management on both the phones are very good, and I have no issues with those things. So I've just kept a figurine in front of those cameras, and we can see that the OnePlus 2's camera is a little bit better compared to the OnePlus X, as it's a better sensor that they have used for the OnePlus 2. So as we can see, there's a little bit of difference, and we can surely tell you that both the cameras are good, but the OnePlus 2's back camera is better. These are the front cameras, and as we can see, the front camera of the OnePlus X is better compared to the OnePlus 2's, as the OnePlus X front camera is 8 megapixel compared to the OnePlus 2's 5 megapixel. As you can see over here, it's about 8 megapixel, and the OnePlus 2 is 5 megapixel. So in the video point of, there's a little bit of difference. So the OnePlus 2 can record videos up to 4K UHD, whereas the OnePlus X is restricted to the 1080p. We have no idea why OnePlus is doing this with the OnePlus X, as it's a 13 megapixel camera and has the ability to capture 4K HD videos. So as you can see, it's a 13 megapixel camera, but OnePlus has not enabled 4K UHD on the OnePlus X. So in the camera point of view, for the front camera, the OnePlus X is better, and for the back camera, the OnePlus 2 is better. So in the Android versions point of view, there's not a lot of difference. So both the phones are running on Android 5.1.1, Oxygen OS 2.1.1 for the OnePlus 2 and 2.1.2 for OnePlus X. And personally, there's not a lot of difference. There's a couple of settings which are missing in the OnePlus X compared to the OnePlus 2, like in the display there's no option of adjusting the color calibration, whereas the color balance was added to this phone in a couple of updates back. And the ambient display is inside the OnePlus X because it's using an AMOLED screen, and there's no ambient display on the OnePlus 2. So there's a couple of differences, not a lot of differences. So in the performance point of view, both the phones are powered by Snapdragon processors, whereas the OnePlus X is powered by last year's flagship processor, the Snapdragon 801, and the OnePlus 2 is powered by this year's flagship processor, the Snapdragon 810. And in the Snapdragon 810, there are 4 cores which are clocked at 1.8 gigahertz, and there are 4 cores which are clocked at 1.6 gigahertz. So it's right now running on the 1.6 gigahertz processor, so that's why it's showing 1.6, but it is 1.8 as well. And in this, it's only 4 cores with 2.3 gigahertz. So they are using a different chip in this OnePlus X compared to the OnePlus 1. So OnePlus 1, it was clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, but in OnePlus X it's at 2.3 gigahertz. And in the sensors point of view, OnePlus hasn't skipped on any sensors for the OnePlus X or the OnePlus 2. In the battery point of view, the OnePlus X is powered by a 25 mAh battery, whereas the OnePlus 2 is powered by a 3300 mAh battery. We can get over 4 hours of screen on time on the OnePlus 2 compared to about 3 hours of screen on time on the OnePlus X. So the battery is a little bit of different, and OnePlus had to sacrifice the battery because of the design and thinness of the OnePlus X. But it's okay for a good enough user. They're targeting as a higher mid-range phone and not a flagship phone. So for a higher mid-range phone, a 25 mAh battery giving around 3 hours of screen on time is okay-ish. So both the phones do not support NFC. The OnePlus X does support the FM radio compared to the OnePlus 2 which does not support FM radio. This is the first OnePlus phone that supports a functionality that OnePlus 2 has, is USB Type-C. So both the phones are having the notification toggle. So as you can see right now, the thickness of the OnePlus X is only 6.9 mm compared to OnePlus 2's thickness of 8.9 mm. So it really feels good in hand. OnePlus 2 also has an upper hand in the fingerprint sensor, and the OnePlus X is available for 17,000 rupees, whereas the OnePlus 2 is available for 25,000 rupees, and none of these phones support quick charging. So about 2.5 hours of charging is required for the OnePlus 2 compared to the OnePlus X, which is about 1 hour 50 minutes or 1 hour 45 minutes. Decent timings, not very good. I wish they had some type of quick charging, but nothing is there. Both the phones do not support wireless charging. And to conclude this video, I can surely tell you that OnePlus X is a great device that they have made compared to the OnePlus 2, that is a powerhouse for the price. But the OnePlus X is specifically for design conscious, or the people who are not really into the 5.5-inch screen displays, and the OnePlus X is amazing for them. The Snapdragon 801 is still a very good chipset for a phone about 17,000 rupees with a micro SD card slot and stock Android build. It's a great device that you can have. And personally, if you are not a very heavy gamer or a very heavy multitasker or something, you can easily go for the OnePlus X, which is a great device. And if you want power, want the latest specs, want everything to be good, then you have to go for the OnePlus 2, because it is a great powerhouse, and it works well. It does what it says it will do. And personally, I am a little bit of a power user, so I am using the OnePlus 2 as my daily driver. But I'm inclined of switching to OnePlus X, all because of the screen and the compact factor. Thank you guys for watching this video. This was Sharon here from 24/7 Techie, showing you guys the OnePlus X versus the OnePlus 2. Both the phones are great for their price, and are targeted to different type of users, so you can choose whatever user you are and go for it. And please do subscribe to our channel, because it really helps us a lot, and I really wish to see you in my next video. Till then, see ya.